guys. This is Carrie with Fullerton Professional Organizing. And today in this podcast, now, as always, our podcast talks about decluttering your faith, your home, and business. And I was thinking about all the things that I learned during COVID that I was not able to learn all through my marriage and all through raising kids. Now, I was not the person that cleaned up as you go. Now, I'm a professional organizer and I was married in 1990, 35 years ago, and I checked out books on all these subjects. So for me, organization was a learned, and I checked out books. I learned about it. I thought it was fascinating. And so I've been learning and tweaking all of these things for 35 years of marriage. Well, with COVID, there were a few things that stuck that didn't stick in my whole 35 years. Um, I knew about these concepts, but as you know, COVID kind of changed a lot of things in our life that we had never done before, like sterilizing everything that came into the house. Well, I'm going to go over a few things that were learned by most people during COVID. And so we're going to talk about these things. And we're going to talk a little bit about minimalism because some of that came into play as well. So, what we learned about organization during COVID and why it still works today. How minimalism and visual boundaries keep life and home in order. Now, I'm not an extreme minimalist, and that's a misunderstanding about minimalism is that you strip down everything just like a hospital, just a bed, walls, and equipment. And that is not necessarily so. When the world slowed down in 2020, though, something unexpected happened. Our homes became the whole center of our world, of everything. There were no longer just a place to rest. Um, it became our office, our classroom, our gym, our sanctuaries. In the midst of fear and uncertainty, we discovered the power of an organized space and how deeply it impacts our well being. We also learned to slow down. I mean, we didn't have a choice, but some of us loved it so much, we kept a slower pace even long after COVID. Now, years later, those lessons are more relevant than ever. In fact, many of the habits we picked up during the pandemic have stuck, and for good reason. From visual systems and minimalist living to new ways of working and organizing, let's explore what everyday people and professional organizers learned during COVID that still makes life better today. Now, one is that clutter impacts mental health. During lockdowns, we were surrounded by our things 24/7. It became clear that clutter wasn't just an eyesore, it was a source of stress and anxiety. People began to declutter not for just aesthetics, but to have more space for now, what all the things that they are now doing at home. Now, still practice today is regular donation days. You know, some say one in, one out, but if you have not decluttered your home yet, then one way to declutter is one thing you purchase, you get rid of two things. Because if your house is not decluttered, then just doing the one out and one out one in, one out rule's not going to help much. It's just going to keep things the same. Number two, zones help restore balance. With everyone working, learning, and living under one roof, families started setting up designated zones for specific activities, workstations, homework stations, reading corners, play areas, even, prayer and reading, Bible reading areas, prayer rooms. Small space zoning, dedicated charging stations, and minimal command centers for family routines. Now, number three, the pantry and food organization became crucial because remember, we have to wipe everything down, right? With this. But from baking sourdough to stocking up on essentials, kitchens were in constant use. Clear bins, labels, expiration dates, and first in, first out systems help keep food waste down and anxiety levels a little bit lower on the anxiety. I mean, the pandemic gave us enough anxiety, right? Now, decanting pantry goods, tracking freezer inventory, and planning meals around what's on hand. Now, number four, paperless systems made life easier. We were kind of forced into it. With the shift to remote everything, school, bills, doctor appointments, people had to get digitally organized. Cluttered paper piles turned into scanned documents, cloud folders, and color-coded digital calendars. Now, Google Drive, family folders, shared calendars, and automatic reminders for bills or tasks are still done today. Now, number five, this was a big one. This was a big one for me. Less really is more. From clothing and toys to kitchen gadgets and tools, many realized they had more than they needed. Downsizing became liberating. I know it did for me. Capsule wardrobes, minimalist toy rotations, and intentional decluttering for every season. Now, what did we learn as professional organizers? Well, as most of you know, here locally, I started my organizing business during the pandemic. And to my surprise and to my hopes and dreams, it was a very needed business, and I have become very successful because of it. I love it. I stay busy, and people are still hiring me, and I make a great full-time living doing it. Now, one, virtual organizing does work. Professional organizers quickly pivoted to Zoom consults, video coaching, and digital organizing plans. Clients discovered they could still get accountability and support from a distance, just like a lot of businesses. Now, today we still have hybrid services, digital maintenance check-ins, and virtual group workshops. Number two, systems must be sustainable. Clients couldn't rely on their organizer to come back weekly or daily. Systems had to be simple and maintainable for real life, especially under stress. What we still do today is clear zones, labeled bins, color-coded folders, and minimal upkeep routines. That's what we help our clients with. Now, number three, emotions are part of the process. You can't always take emotions out. Now, we can minimize the emotions because we talked about that in our last podcast. The pandemic brought emotional attachment to the surface. Organizers shifted toward compassionate coaching, understanding that behind every junk drawer, which I now call an essentials drawer, was anxiety, grief, or fear of the unknown. What we still do today is trauma-informed organizing, emotional safety during decluttering, and permission to let go language. Number 4, home office setups became a must, and everyone needed a functional workspace, even in the tiniest of homes. It didn't matter. We were working from home, therefore, it didn't matter what size home we had. Organizers became space creating ninjas, finding unused corners, repurposing furniture, and creating mobile workstations. What we still do today is work from home efficiency setups, tech-friendly zones, and ergonomic, if I can say the word, ergonomic design principles. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we learned from minimalism, that was how minimalism changed the game and still does. Now, minimalism became more than a design trend during the pandemic. It became a lifeline. When people had fewer distractions, they found more clarity, time, and peace. And with less stuff came fewer messes. Now, we had created visual boundaries. This acted as a silent reminders. A minimalist home uses visual cues to prompt action. No need for alarms or sticky notes. Now, those still work and we can still use them, but here's some examples. When the dish bin, now at my home, I do have a dirty dish bin. It's one of those white bins you get at Dollar Tree, and it only holds so many dishes. Well, that cue from that bin, once it's full of dishes, you no longer can procrastinate. You have to go ahead and load the dishwasher. And the great thing is, it's a small bin. Therefore, you're not waiting too long to fill the dishwasher. Easier to unload the dishwasher and load the dishwasher. Okay. Now, it was a visual cue to anyone in the family that the dishwasher needed to be loaded. Now, of course, sometimes dishes overflowed, but it didn't overflow for long because of the visual cue. It was time to load the dishwasher. We didn't wait till our whole countertop was covered in the overflow of dishes. When the laundry hamper was full, now we did each person individually. When the laundry hamper was full, it was that person's laundry day. We didn't wait till it overflowed onto the floor. That was the time to get it done. And then you only had a few items to fold right out of the dryer every week. Though that saved me a lot. Each person in the family, if they were old enough, had to do their own laundry and put it away. That was a tremendous help. Now, these visual boundaries reduce mental load and help the whole family take responsibility for the spaces. Fewer dishes equaled less mess. Owning fewer dishes. This is another thing I implemented in my own home. Now, I do have lots and lots and lots of dishes. Now, I did not get rid of them, but what we did do is only had certain amount in the kitchen that everyone could use. Owning fewer plates, cups, and utensils naturally reduced how many can pile up. If each person had one or two dishes or one or two glasses, there became a natural cleaning rhythm. Plus, when there's not a backup set of dishes waiting, people wash and reuse, and it doesn't pile up and get forgotten. Now, that works because you don't go into your kids' bedrooms and find 10 drinking glasses and 10 plates after you've loaded or washed the dishes. You only have a certain amount of dishes, they have to get done. And the same with laundry. Fewer clothes equals faster decisions and less laundry. Many people adapted a form of a uniform, maybe all black t-shirts, maybe all white t-shirts, or maybe a mix of just a few colors, maybe just 3 colors of t-shirts and 3 colors of pants and blazers. But when dressing for especially when dressing for Zoom calls. A few staple outfits meant no decision fatigue and no overflowing hampers. Capsule wardrobes equal calm closets. Less laundry equals more time for things that are more fun and are more, I'm not going to say laundry's not important, but more important to you and what you would like to spend your time doing besides folding laundry for an entire half a day. Now, there's also what Minimal Mom introduced to us all is the wait and see or the quarantine bin. She used to call it quarantine bin, but now she calls it the wait and see bin. Not sure about letting something go? Well, this is what you do. The minimalists love the quarantine bin, a labeled box in the garage or your closet where you store items you're unsure about. If you don't miss them for 30 to 60 days, and why not, maybe even 6 months, it's okay. It's time to donate. This takes the pressure off of decision making. It creates a path to let go more confidently. If you didn't have to go get anything out of the box, then you didn't need it. If you did go get something out of the box, you used it, you get to keep it. It's just very helpful when you're not real sure what to let go of. Fewer items equals easier cleaning. The less you have, the less you clean. No more dusting trinkets you don't love. And I do have a lot of trinkets, and but I rotate them, so that helps. No more reorganizing drawers of unused gadgets. No more shuffling things around to find what you really need. Minimalism makes cleaning easier because your space isn't working against you. It's working for you. All right. Final thoughts. It's not the end of the video, but just a few little final things about COVID. What COVID taught us and minimalism, what it keeps alive. We didn't choose the circumstances of the pandemic but many of us chose to make something good out of it. Cleaner spaces, more peace, and simpler systems. That's what this video is all about, is creating simpler systems. Whether you're a parent, professional, or somewhere in between, the tools we gained during COVID intentionally organizing, minimalism, and sustainability I can't say all three of those words, still work beautifully today. So if life feels overwhelming again, remember the lessons we learned when everything slowed down. Less is really enough. Systems save your sanity. Visual cues reduce stress. And home is a place of peace, not pressure. Now, if you want help applying these ideas in your space, contact me, Fullerton's Professional Organizing, for in-person or virtual organizing services. And then you can follow us on all of our social media, and that will be in the description. But let's talk about the lazy genius approach popularized by Kendra. I'm not sure if I can say her last name. Adachi is all about being a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. It blends beautifully with minimalism, but it's not about having less for the sake of less. It's about less effort in the areas that drain you, so you have more energy for what you enjoy or what's most important or what you value in your family and your life. So let's think outside the minimalist box and explore lazy genius style tips you can apply to all areas of life, not just your home. All right. The mindset is be lazy and genius on purpose. 1, decide once. Take the decision fatigue out of daily life. Workwear, pick 3 outfits or a uniform and rotate it. We already kind of hinted on that. Gifts for teachers or birthdays, buy the same thing every time. Dinner every Tuesday, taco night, done. Bonus tip, keep a decide once list in your phone or planner. Now, you can find out more about that in her book, The Lazy Genius Way, because I put that in my notes and now I don't remember what that 100% means, but we can, that just means we can come back to that on another podcast. Number 2, name what matters to you the most. Not everything needs to be done perfectly. Identify what matters most and let the rest be good enough. Some people hang up their clothes, some people fold their clothes, and guess what? Some people don't do either. They just throw it in a drawer. Now, because they feel like it's good enough. Now, in friendships, showing up matters more than perfect words. In your business, serving your clients matters more than a flawless website. In your faith life, a 3-minute prayer matters more than an hour of guilt because you never have to make time for prayer. Home life, practical, minimalist, lazy, genius crossovers. 3, set visual boundaries everywhere. We talked about that already, not just dishes. Try it in email boxes. 50 unread equals your boundary. Time to clean the email list. Closet. If hangers run out, it's time to edit. Pantry. 1 snack bin equals no more bulk impulsive buys. 4, use anchor routines. Anchor a small habit to something you're already doing. Light a candle while making your coffee. Signals your mind to relax. while you're drinking your coffee. It signals peace. These are just little tips that you can try. Toss clutter into a basket before you brush your teeth at night. Tidy up in 2 minutes. Pray while washing your face. Habit stacking with meaning. Or pray while you're ironing. You can pray for each family member if you are ironing for each family member. Or the same with dishes. As you wash each family member's dish, you can say a little prayer for them every night. Now, work life, simplify and streamline. 5, automate or batch what you can. Emails, use templates for common replies. Social media, create 8 posts in 1-hour batches weekly. Client gifts or invoices, pre-schedule or use automatic tools. Minimalism here means fewer decisions, fewer tabs open, and fewer spinning plates. Now, number 6, organize by energy. Now, that sounds a little weird, but it's not just about energy. It's not just about time. Some tasks are better saved for low energy windows. Use categories like high focus, planning, creating, calls, low focus, tidying, filing, emailing, heart focused, prayer time, journaling, connecting. See how it's done? Relationships, keep it simple, but keep it meaningful. Number 7, create relational rhythms, not pressure. Sunday check-ins with your spouse or kids. Monthly coffee date with a friend. Ooh, I like that one. Text 3 people every Friday to say thank you for whatever. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for something. Simple structure removes guilt or forgetting. 8, embrace the good enough. Gathering hospitality doesn't need a Pinterest perfect table. Bible study doesn't need a Pinterest perfect table. Paper plates plus store-bought cookies and laughter equals success. Don't wait until your house is clean enough to invite someone over. All right, that is almost a wrap. But now we talk a little bit about self-care. A minimalist mind meets lazy genius energy. Put self-care on autopilot. Now, my number one self-care is my Bible reading, my Bible study, but here are some other ideas. Use the same skincare, the same vitamins, same walking route, uniform, your favorites, so you're not reinventing uniform, your favorite, so you're not reinventing every day. Minimalist here is about less drama, not just fewer items. Now, number 10, build rest into the rhythm. Rest isn't just a reward. Rest isn't a reward. It's a rhythm. It's something that you need. And now your faith walk, your screen-free Sunday, or nothing after 8 p.m. nights. Keep your calendar with margin and some white space. Schedule in some rest. Schedule in some nothing on purpose. Now, I probably said this already, But our final thought is that minimalism isn't just a style, it's a strategy. When you apply minimalist thinking plus genius principles, life gets lighter. Not because everything's perfect, but because it finally feels doable. Okay, guys, that's it for our podcast today. I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening.